Alright guys, the time has come. Today I'm going to be reacting to the Beatles' self-titled record, also known as the White Album. This came out in 1968. If you guys haven't seen my previous reactions, I've done Rubber Soul, I've done Revolver, Sgt. Pepper's, Magical Mystery Tour, and here we are now with the White Album. Now this thing is an hour and a half, and that's honestly why I've kind of delayed this video. Now I could listen to like a 90-minute album fine on my own, not recording a video, but once you have to record a video, it's really difficult for me to be on, you know, and just be mentally there for an hour and a half, what will likely be 2 hours. So I'm gonna be splitting this reaction into two parts, because it looks like on Spotify here, it's split into disc 1 and disc 2. So the first disc, 17 tracks, that's a lot more doable for a video, and then I'll do a part 2 for disc 2. We're gonna hop into it. I will say that my brother is a huge Beatles fan, and he mentioned to me, because I mentioned to him that this is the next one I'm reacting to, and he said that this is one of their first albums where they really focus on doing like overdubs, as opposed to like live recording the entire track, you know, so that sounds interesting to me. I guess we'll see how that affects what this album sounds like. So other than that, don't know too much, but we're going to hop into it. Make sure to go join the Patreon if you want to see this reaction uncut. Link in the description down below. And we're going to get into it. The first track is Back in the U.S.S.R. U.S.S.R. Back in the U.S., back in the U.S.S.R. Come on! I was gonna say this kind of sounds like the Beach Boys, and then I pull up Genius here and it mentions the Beach Boys. So there you go. Back in the U.S.S.R. Oh, let me tell you, honey. Damn. Good transition. Okay, very, yeah, like I said, very Beach Boys kind of track. When did Pet Sounds come out? Was that 69? I've reacted to that album, so if you haven't seen that reaction, go check it out. Pet Sounds was 66, okay. So yeah, it feels like it's kind of paying homage to that in a way. I don't know, something about the groove, something about the melody is just kind of reminded me of Beach Boys. It feels like we're not taking ourselves too seriously here. It's kind of tongue-in-cheek. Let's keep going. Dear Prudence is next. Won't you come out to play? So another thing that my brother mentioned to me is that they actually, like George Harrison specifically, spent a lot of time in India. And I guess the rest of the Beatles as well spent a lot of time in India. And that's where you hear a lot of that sitar coming from on previous albums. Genius is mentioning that this was written while they were in India studying transcendental meditation. And it definitely has that sound and that vibe to it. Love this walk down of chords. Ooh. Ooh, I like how bouncy the bass is here. I love how meditative this is. I mean, we were talking about meditation earlier, so it makes sense. I love those vocals just floating in the back there. Nice. Oh, this songwriting is so good because it's just lulling you into this meditative like state, and then they do just like subtle chord turnarounds that really catch your ear. That's a really nice textured snare sound as well. See what I mean with these turnarounds? It's really good. Oh yeah, picking things up here. It's such a good tone. It's so good. That's fantastic. I feel like you could really feel the overdubs there, like especially with the piano coming in, especially towards the end where it gets a little bit more lush instrumentally. That was fantastic. So meditative, but really good songwriting where those like turnarounds just really grab your ear and kind of bring you out of this kind of meditative state that you're in. Yeah, as we continue to go on here, I know I mentioned in the last reaction that I was like, I think John Lennon's like the best vocalist in here, and apparently it was McCartney singing on the song. So that's a big oops on my part. That's just me being an idiot like usual. But this is John Lennon. I'm pretty sure. I know that for sure. And he just, I feel like, continues to be the one that connects with me the most, which isn't like a hot take. I think that's what most people feel. Let's keep going. Glass Onion is next. I wonder if the movie Glass Onion is inspired by this track. We'll see. Which is honestly kind of an overrated movie, in my opinion.
I told you about strawberry fields. Where everything flows. I told you about the waters to me.
Okay, we're mentioning a lot of tracks here. Damn. Oh, the drums on this are so unique. Building the tension here. Oh, that's a pretty different like bass sound for them too. It's very kind of punky in a way. Oh, yeah, MF Doom sampled this. That's so good. I love listening to these albums and just like picking out samples that I hear. It's so fun just hearing where this is being integrated in music today. And I mean, the MF Doom track that samples it is like early 2000s, so not like super modern, but I really want to figure out, I don't remember which track it is, but I know it's off Mad Villainy. Yeah, really just swaggy track. Like, I love tracks, the Beatles tracks that just feel cool, you know, like, and I feel like that's John's tracks are the ones that have the most like soul to them usually, and I think that's probably why they connect with me the most. He's really just talking about past tracks here, Strawberry Fields, The Walrus. The Walrus was Paul. Is this just them kind of making fun, poking fun of people trying to like endlessly dissect their tracks, like trying to find all the deeper meaning to everything, even if maybe there isn't any deeper meaning, and they're just like, hey, I just wrote this song because it's just, I don't know, because I thought it was funny. I don't know. I'm just like guessing. That may be completely off, but I don't know. I like when like songwriters aren't like too self-serious about their own work. They're just like, I feel like maybe Bob Dylan was a good example of that. Just like people trying to dissect it, and he's just like, well, they just like, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. They're not gonna. I'm also thinking of David Lynch at the same time, where people would always ask him what his movies meant, and he would never, give them an answer. I don't know. There's something really likable about people that are very obviously making very meaningful and impactful art, but they're also not too like pretentious and up their own ass about it, We're gonna move on to what is this? Obladi Oblada. Whoa. Loving the textures in this track. Ooh. Take Obla. What's Obla di Blada? Is that a drug of some sort? Oh, okay. Obla di Blada is a Yoruban phrase meaning life goes on. Yeah, I was just talking about how John like brings a lot of soul to the band and swagger, but I feel like this track brought a lot of soul in Paul McCartney's own kind of quirky style. I feel like he's kind of like he adds this level of color to the band that, I don't know, his songs generally feel like they kind of have a goofy kind of vibe to them. A little bit tongue-in-cheek. I'm really feeling the overdub aspect of this. Like, it just feels more lush instrumentally, and just like a lot more instrumental ideas and textures being introduced. Let's keep going. Wild Honey Pie. Dude. Oh my god. The effects on these guitars, the wobbly, warbly effects. What the fuck? Let's keep going. That was insane, but I kind of loved it. Oh, okay. We got Yoko Ono.
What did you kill? We went out tiger hunting with his elephant and gun. All the children sing, hey, Bungalow Bill. So Captain Marvel zapped him right.
This kind of reminds me of some like Frank Zappa stuff. I think Zappa came after, but
What did you kill?
Zappa's albums were mostly in the 70s, it looks like. There's Yoko.
Hey, Bungalow Bill. What did you kill? Bungalow Bill.
What? Like the way those claps were recorded. Yeah, so kind of another like kind of tongue-in-cheek, goofy track followed by, I mean, back-to-back, like Obla Dee, Obla Da, Wild Honey Pie, and then this one. All just kind of really out there and just embracing the goofiness, you know? But I'm really intrigued by the writing here, too, and like specifically the title, The Continuing Story of Bungalow Bill. Like, why not just the story, you know? And I think it's like trying to tell this timeless tale of moral ambiguity, I guess. Especially in this last verse, the children asked him if to kill was not a sin, not when he looked so fierce his mommy butted in. I feel like you do feel, I was just, like it said, especially for this album, that a lot of these tracks were kind of recorded, like, separately by the members, so they're kind of just, like, siloed off in a way. And you kind of feel that, like, this track list doesn't feel as cohesive so far. It feels like each member of the band just kind of experimenting with their own ideas. We haven't really got like a George track yet, which is kind of surprising. But yeah, so that's kind of what I'm feeling right now. Doesn't feel as cohesive as some of their other albums, but I don't know if that's necessarily what it's going for, you know? Yeah, let's keep going. While My Guitar Gently Weeps. Oh, I know that piano part from somewhere. Oh, speaking of George Harrison, it says this is written and sung by George Harrison. Okay.
Look at you all, see the love.
I'm sorry, I'm pausing. Am I crazy or is that John singing? Why is it saying George is singing this track? Can I just not tell? Apparently, like in my last video, I proved that I can't tell these guys' voices apart. That sounds like John. Am I tripping?
Still my guitar gently weeps. I don't know why. Nobody told you.
Damn. That melody's so good.
Someone controlled you.
I'm really connecting with the lyrics here. Great solo. Yeah, that was really good. I mean, it has like a really classic quality to the chord progression. I guess that was George. Like, I don't know why George and... Sometimes I can really tell Paul apart from George, and then sometimes George and John sound the same to me. But as it went along, I noticed that, yeah, this is not John. Which, I don't know how I'm like 5 albums in, or 5 or 6, I don't know how many albums in, and I still can't tell them apart. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what it is. Just sometimes they sound so similar to me. But yeah, really, really good song. Dude, this is some of my favorite songwriting I think I've heard from them, period. Just like, yeah, being very unsettled with the state of the world, but like, I don't know, to me it feels like he's illustrating like the constant of music. He describes something and then he still says, still my guitar gently weeps, you know? Just how, I guess, music is always there and it's always gonna kind of be a reflection of the world around us, but it's also like abstract in a way where it's like he's not fully letting us in on what he's meaning here, especially this bridge. I don't know how you were diverted, you were perverted, I don't know how you were inverted, no one alerted you. Kind of spitting bars there with the rhymes as well. Yeah, it's like it's keeping us, the audience, at enough of a distance as well that makes it feel really interesting and it makes you want to kind of dissect it in a way, but still hits hard enough, like it's not too abstract. It's really good balancing act. Yeah, apparently Eric Clapton did guitar work on this as well, which is kind of cool. Apparently this is regarded as one of their best songs ever, which I can definitely see. It feels like one of those songs that, like, you know, like critics are kind of gushing over. I don't know if it would be super high in my list, but yeah, I thought it was pretty good. We'll keep going. Happiness is a warm gun.
Oh yeah. The man in the crowd with the multicolored mirrors on his hobnail boots.
Love that blaring guitar. It's crazy. Really nice contrast between this kind of soft guitar on the left. Love how their vocals are working together here. Woo!
Yes, it is.
Damn. Such a satirical track. I mean, kind of split into 3 parts here. You have the dirty old man. This is what Genius is saying. The junkie and the gunman. I don't really know how these things relate. I mean, it's like obviously it's not obvious the way they relate, but I'm assuming they do relate in some way. But yeah, that last part, just like I couldn't help but laugh because of how like ridiculous just the bang bang shoot shoot, like just vocals coming in there. I like the chemistry between John and Paul here. The way their vocals were mixed together was really interesting, and I like the rasp in the performance on this last part as well. So yeah, I feel like, I don't know, like they've always had satirical elements to their albums in the past, but this album feels like the majority of it is kind of satirical. Let's go to the next track, Martha My Dear. Okay.
Martha, my dear, though I spend my days in conversation, hold your head up, you silly girl, silly girl. Take a good look around. See what you've done.
Technically, that track had a lot of elements to it that I liked, but overall, I don't know. That track didn't really do much for me. Apparently, it's about his dog. That's cute, I guess. Sweet track in general, but just not much to chew on here. So I do like his vocals. I will say that. I'm So Tired is next. I relate to this right now. I'm very tired right now.
I'm so tired, I don't know what to do. I wonder, should I call you? But I could give you everything I've got for a little peace of mind. Putting you on, but it's no joke.
I love that snare sound.
Give you everything I've got for a little peace of mind.
What was that at the end? Oh god. Okay, that track brought me back in. John did it again, man. It's John. He's a legend. I don't know, there's something so authentic about this track and just about John's writing in general. I love the performance here. I love how we're just like, with the verses, we're obviously reflecting the state of being tired. It's just kind of this, like, just you're just vibing here, you know. And as there's moments where he like kind of loses it and he kind of crashes out. Look at me using TikTok slango. Oh my god. That's my favorite thing I've ever said in my life. Slango. Why is that so funny to me? Slango. Guys, he's using TikTok slango. I can't say anything else after saying slango. Oh, we got Blackbird up next. Okay, I mean, obviously a classic that, like, everyone knows, right? I'm Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Beyonce covered this on her new country album. There's probably been tons of people who have covered this, but yeah. I don't know if I've actually ever listened to the original, so let's see. Probably. I mean,
Blackbird singing in the
yeah, I
dead
have.
of night. You were only waiting for this moment to be free.
I never realized this, just like consistent tapping on the left here. Really good acoustic performance, man. Good intensity pickup there and dynamics.
Into the light of a dark black night. For the this moment to arrive.
Damn. I never realized that that track was so, like, acoustic and folky and stripped back. Well, it's been forever since I've listened to this original, but really, really powerful kind of folk track here. And this was what, 68? So kind of in the peak of the Bob Dylan era, I guess. Yeah, I would really like to see if they continue to do more folk-leaning stuff like this in the future. Because it's very different for them, of course, but with how good of songwriters they are, like, it's definitely something they can do. This track being about being hopeful that racism can come to an end in America. I never realized that this was what this song was about. I guess I never really thought about what this song was about. But just a beautiful sentiment there. Just a timeless track. I mean, as I get older and as I get more experienced with just listening to music and appreciating art, like, I become less and less cynical about, like, tracks that everyone knows, you know? Like, there's a reason that everyone knows this track and that it's stood the test of time. Like, if I probably listened to this, like, 2 years ago, I'd probably want to be, like, contrarian and say that, like, whatever, it's kind of overrated, but I don't know. Like I said, there is a reason that it's such a well-known and just important, impactful track. Next track is Piggies. We talk about cops here, maybe? When did people start referring to cops as pigs? I don't know why I'm curious to know this, but, 1785. What? When was it, like, popularized? Oh, okay, the 60s. Maybe this is the origin.
Have you seen the little
Or maybe it's just about pigs. Real pigs.
life is getting worse. Always having dirt to play around in.
Ooh!
In their life is something lacking. What they need to damn good whacking.
Oh, it's so good.
Clutching forks and knives to eat the bacon.
Ooh. Ah! They're eating themselves! Okay, so obviously this track isn't about... I kind of wish it was just about literal pigs. That'd be funny. I want to hear a song just about... just describing pigs living their lives. Yeah, so obviously about... maybe not cops, but just like people of power, people in power. The high-ups, you know, the elites. Have you seen the little piggies crawling in the dirt? Obviously using this metaphor to describe the corruption. Okay, next track is Rocky Raccoon.
Now somewhere in the black mining hills of Dakota there lived a young boy named Rocky Raccoon.
Hello? Who's this? Is this Paul?
Rocky didn't like that. He said, I'm gonna get that boy. Only to find
I like how he's still integrating his like usual style of singing with this kind of spoken southern section as well.
Dick had broken his dreams by stealing the girl of his fancy.
Whoa! Okay, wait, what? What kind of effects are they putting on this piano right now? Or it's some sort of electric piano that just... yeah, crazy.
Of gin.
Damn. Paul's just kind of like on his own wavelength on this album. Like, I feel like him and the other members are just kind of on completely different fields, you know? Like, he's doing his own thing on this album. I don't know. Sometimes it works for me. Sometimes it's not working on this album. This track, like, I don't know, it felt a little bit underwhelming. Don't Pass Me By is next. Whoa.
I listen for your footsteps, they don't arrive.
Those organs sound
Waiting
huge.
for your knock, dear.
Little fiddle.
The clock a ticking. Does it mean you don't love me anymore?
I love how kind of like washed out the drums are here. They're very like almost more textural than like rhythmic.
Don't make me cry. You'll never know it hurt me so.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna say something crazy, and I'm probably gonna get killed in the comments for it, but screw it, it's how I'm feeling. That's the first Beatles song I've heard since doing these reactions that I think is actually bad. Like, yeah, there's obviously been tracks that I feel are a little bit underwhelming. But yeah, this is the first one that I'm like, I don't really want to listen to that again. And it's like, yeah, I guess it's Ringo's first song that he wrote for the Beatles, and maybe that's why. I just feel like it's really songwriting just not interesting at all. Like, I think sonically there's some interesting aspects to it, but overall the structure in the song itself just really did not grab my ear at all. It felt like just a watered down version of past Beatles stuff, and it just felt really uninspired. This next track is called Why Don't We Do It in the Road? Hey, why not? Let's just do it. Oh my god.
Why don't we do it in the road?
Oh
Why
god.
don't we do it in the road?
Dude, no one's saying you can't. You can do it if you want.
Why don't we do it in the road?
Damn, okay, go off.
Why don't we do it in the road?
I love this. This is so good.
Why don't we do it in the road?
That was so uncomfortable, but I loved it. Why? Why don't we? Let's just do it. What is happening with this album? It says McCartney was inspired to write this song after witnessing two monkeys having sex in the middle of the road in India. He described it as a liberating sight. I kind of feel that. They just don't care. I mean, yeah, this track is ridiculous, obviously, but I actually kind of love it. At the end of the day, it made me laugh, and I think it's rare that songs can genuinely make you laugh. So that's got a 75 on Album of the Year. Come on, that's better. That's better than Don't Pass Me By. Come on, tell me, what would you rather listen to? Don't Pass Me By or Why Don't We Do It in the Road? You know, Don't Pass Me By, a boring 3-minute watered-down Beatles track, or 2 minutes of Paul McCartney desperately wanting to have sex. What sounds more interesting, eh? I just said A, too, unironically. There's the Canadian coming out. Second last track of this first disc is I Will.
Will I wait a lonely lifetime? I didn't catch your name. Love you with all my heart. Baby.
I'm just laughing. What a contrast between Paul just, why don't we do it in the road, versus John, love you forever and ever with all my heart.
To be near you, I will.
Oh, it's beautiful. Okay, honestly, that's genius. To put those two tracks back to back, just the contrast is so funny. That's so funny, dude. Like I said, John just screaming primalistically about wanting to have sex in the middle of the road. Or I said John, I meant to say Paul. And then John with this sweet, like, lullaby love track. You're really seeing that, like, they were kind of just, each member was kind of just doing their own thing on this album. And I kind of love it. It's definitely messy, and it's definitely all over the place. I don't know, there's something kind of charming about it. All right, last track of this video, of Disc 1. Again, I'll be doing a part 2 for Disc 2. Julia.
Half of what I say is meaningless. Julia, Julia, glimmering in the sun.
Beautiful just imagery here. Beautiful kind of reflective, meandering kind of guitar. Love how simple the melodies are here. You're not getting like a crazy John vocal performance. It's just kind of sitting in this really nice, simplistic zone. Really interesting way to end off this first video, because I mean, we go from like a low point in Don't Pass Me By, and then just the unhinged chaos of Why Don't We Do It in the Road, and then we get two sweet John love tracks to end the thing off. I don't know. This first half, kind of all over the place, kind of messy, but some really funny standouts. I don't know if they're meant to be funny, but either way, it just had me cracking up. Some really, like, technically impressive tracks. I mean, Blackbird is a classic, of course. While My Guitar Gently Weeps, probably the highlight of the album for me so far. But yeah, we'll continue with Disc 2 in the next video. Those are my overall thoughts on this first disc. I'll give more thoughts at the end of the next video. But yeah, make sure to stay tuned for that. if you want to see this reaction uncut, make sure to go join the Patreon, link in the description down below. And yeah, I will see you guys in part 2.